Okay, let me move back over there.
Okay. Your laptop charge up a little bit?
My laptop's at 63%. That should be good, right?
Yeah, it's a 25 minute and 4 second match.
Fuck, the intro didn't even save, eh? That Macho Madness jacket, send it to me now. Talkline, what the fuck? Should already be on its way.
He just completely disregarded the email I sent him, by the way.
Did he?
Yeah. It is what it is.
Baby
Eventually
steps,
they'll be
man.
like, yo.
Baby steps, man.
Eventually they'll be like, yo, and I'll be like, you know what? No.
You know what, man? Matt Jackson has followed me for like 3 years, never messaged the fucking guy. Probably sent his DMs a bunch of time, pretty sure my story, but never messaged the guy. I just fucking, past midnight, didn't want to go back to work for my brother. Fucking took a leap of faith. That's what you gotta do, man. That's how half this shit happens.
Did you just change, by the way?
Shit was, I fucking took a tie and a dress shirt off. Jeez. I mean, I used to think before I started working in banks that I'd love that. Like, yeah, suit up every day. Fuck yeah.
Right?
Got old real fast. Got old real fast. Okay. I'm still wearing dress pants, though. I just changed my tie and shit. Okay. Resume. Let's see where I stopped it.
Seventh white dot.
It did play during the last recording, the whole show, and then I went back. So the first time we watched it, we did start a little off.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this again. I don't want to repeat what we did, but I came through. What was the fucking first thing I did? Well, that was the second episode where I said the star rating thing, right?
Yeah.
We went straight into it, right? Like, we're doing SummerSlam.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Okay. We do the same thing. That's fine. I'm gonna do the star rating thing before we get off again. Maybe talk less about it.
Do you know what this match was rated?
No, I mean they.
Oh, the iTunes rating. Gotcha.
That was on the normal episode I did that at the beginning, right?
Yeah. We'll do a quick plug for Sean Mooney again because he's gonna keep plugging us every week too. So. And
we'll do the star rating at the end of this episode because it's short anyways, and talk less about Undertaker and Mankind, I guess, because we're gonna talk about it a lot next week. Yeah. Talk about it enough to promote it. Try to talk we got to try to talk less about everything except promoting the next episode and obviously following through on the match. And we're going to pump up the match a little bit, but let's not I think we talked more about what we should just talk about next week anyways. Right. At the end of this episode. But I'm like, fuck, we keep talking about how great Mankind was, but we should probably do this next week. I like how we talked about this match last time. We're going to do the same thing. It's a good match. Fuck, whatever. Yeah, absolutely. Psychology again, and climbing so about ladders, and how Money in the Bank sucked because of that, and how the work in the leg, and give Wrestling for Sale a plug in while there's some dead space entrances. That's right. And then we plugged them. Working at Home Depot. So I hook you up with a Macho Man shirt. Should I hook you up with something? I've been hooked up. I haven't been. That's also with that last rant, man. That was a point after WrestleMania. I'm like, people stop. Besides Chalkline, besides Cardillo, I'm like, fucking stop hooking me up with shit. Pay me. And everyone just kept wanting to send me free T-shirts. Dude, my buddy Mitch came to my house after WrestleMania. I fucking gave him a Chalkline jacket, a couple of shirts. Fucking take them, man. It's like a fucking wrestling superstore in here, man. People just keep sending me shit. That's hilarious. It's the worst. It's the fucking worst, dude. I want to start getting paid. Okay, anyways. It was fun at first. It was really fucking cool, man. I'm like, this is exciting. I'm never gonna ask Chalkline for money. I'm never gonna ask Cardillo for money. But everyone else, man, fucking pay me. Obviously, I wouldn't ask Ted for money either. But everyone else pay me, Yeah, I don't think he's in a position where he could pay you. Yeah, he's in a buy and a resell. He's not in manufacturing. Yeah, he's flipping shit. I get it. He loses fully if he just gives me shit for free. And he did give me one shirt for free. The other shit I did pay for. That is true. The Macho Cage Bandits one was a birthday gift because he got one. And he's like, I've never found one again. Right. And then he's like, so I'm keeping this one. I'm like, you motherfucker. And he's like, but if I ever find another one, it's yours. And he did. There you go. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. So anyways, let's do this. And then he found a bunch more after that. He started finding them all over the place. I was like, fuck, it was a Holy Grail at one point. I've noticed them all over the place now. And then fucking And then fucking Cardillo put on a belt, and I'm like, he beat you, dude. He fucking put that Cage Madness thing on a fucking belt, and there's only 2 of them ever made. He made one for me, but he liked it so much that he made his own.
That's awesome.
He's like, only me and you have it. I'm like, okay. Oh man, what a guy. Because that Patrick Ganino guy actually hand painted the same thing off the shirt onto the belt. Like he hand painted it and then he printed it on the belt. So he only did it twice. So it's like a painting, a unique painting by an artist that looks exactly like the fucking shirt, and it's on the belt. And then they're just sitting there on my floor. Like I have no appreciation. I should be hanging this shit somewhere. Okay, anyways. Fucking don't sleep. I have all the energy in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's the Wrestling Classic here, back with the real Danny B for this week's Watch Along. Going back to the 90s, baby.
Can't get any more mid than 1995.
I'm a 90s kid, man, so this is my generation.
I'm still a 90s baby.
Are you a 90s baby? What year?
I was born in 86.
So, yeah, you're a 90s kid, but technically...
I guess I would still an
say
baby.
You were an 80s kid. I think if you're born in 88, 89, I'd be like, oh, yeah, you're a 90s kid. Like, I don't consider people born in 1998 or 1999 like a 90s kid. Like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
right. But, I mean, I don't know. Because the way I look at it is I was born in June of 86. How much do you remember of your life, like, before age 3? I don't remember anything.
But, like, you're still, like, an 80s kid. Like, you grew up around 80s stuff, the 80s society, going into the 90s. Like, I'm born in 1991. I'm literally like Tamagotchis, Pogs, Pokemon.
I grew up with the same shit.
You did, but like that's my first shit I knew. Like I didn't have Hulkamania, He-Man, and like that wasn't my era. Did you have He-Man? Did you have Hulkamania?
All I had in my bedroom was WWF and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, you had Teenage Mutant. That's so 80s. My brother had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle bed sheets. I had
you were giving the Razor's Edge.
I had 101 Dalmatians and the Lion King. You see, like there's a difference, man. There's a difference between the 80s and the 90s kid. You definitely grew up in the 80s. Like my brother was a teenager in the 90s. That's his decade, right? Like I was a teenager in the early 2000s. Like I can still vibe with the early 2000 kids. Like I had Even Stevens and the Family Channel, Disney Channel, and all that stuff. I did all that stuff. You know? I get just scooters and stuff. Scooters were the thing. I went into motor scooters and stuff. And Tony Hawk. I'm all about Tony Hawk and stuff too. I get all that.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater on PlayStation.
When Extreme Sports was so cool. Extreme Sports.
Right.
That's right. BMX Extreme. Like I was all about that, dirt bikes and stuff. That was like the early 2000s, man.
Damn right.
So as a 90s kid, 2000s teen, you were an 80s kid, 90s teen. Like you were a teen during this era, basically. Like you were 10 years old when this was going on almost.
I was almost 10, yeah.
And then you were like 11, 12 in the Attitude Era. Like you were prime age. I was a kid.
I was prime age for
you were
target market.
He took you to manhood. You were influenced with middle fingers and sockets.
I absolutely was.
But my brain was still developing.
Fair enough.
I was like 8 years old and like, is that how you say hello? And those that can't see the screen, I have 2 middle fingers up right now.
That's exactly how you greet somebody.
Is that how you say hello? Because I see Stone Cold do it to his boss every day at work.
Right.
Why do I go up to girls and crotch my chop?
Crotch my chop?
Why am I chop crotch? Dude, think about it like this, dude. I'd be like a recess and I'm running in the playground and like I like have a crush on a girl and like you know when you're like a little kid and you have a crush on a girl, so you like indirectly mean to her and you don't you don't intentionally mean to be mean to her, you're just mean to her because you have a crush on her. Like that's a real thing because I did that. And like I'd be running away from her like, I don't like you, suck it. Like, dude, how vulgar is that?
Hashtag me too, Justin.
Like how vulgar, like 8-9-year-old little me be like, hey, you suck it. Like, pointing at my crotch with no idea what that means. And I have a crush on this girl. She probably has a crush on me too. And
that's awesome.
The supervisor, who's some old lady that probably doesn't watch wrestling, is like, why did that little boy just point at his crotch and tell that girl to suck it? These kids are growing up way too fast. Literally, these kids know nothing about nothing. Just watch too much wrestling. But yeah.
But thankfully, in 1995, we were not in there. We had no problem with
This
that.
was a different era. This is SummerSlam 1995. Fire up
one of my favorite matches.
It's one of Danny's favorite matches. Fire up you guys' WWE Network. Get to SummerSlam 95. We're waiting for you. Go to
Week 7th. White Dot.
I would say an hour, 54 minutes, and 26 seconds. Earlier,
I would say that as well.
Earlier, I said a minute and 54 minutes and 26 seconds. It was totally off, but we're not making that mistake twice today.
Completely off.
Get there, see Doc Hendricks and the bad guys at Razor Ramon. Honestly, man, I'm excited for this. It's a second ever ladder match. And I say in the WWE's history books, it's the second ever ladder match. Technically, it is the third ladder match under the WWE. For people that don't know the background, for those that aren't students of the game like myself or haven't followed the Wrestling Classic since 2014, the first ever ladder match was between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. It was at a local house show event, but it was taped and it is on various ladder match DVDs and Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels DVDs and stuff like that. And I'm sure you can find it on the network. It's probably a hidden gem or something. But that was technically the first ever ladder match that took place in like 1992, I believe.
Yep, 92 when they were doing their feud heading into Survivor Series.
Yeah, Bret Hart. It's in Bret Hart's book. He said he pitched it to Vince McMahon because it was something they did in Stampede Wrestling once upon a time, and he pitched that match as something different to Vince. And Vince guy said, sure, we'll try it out with you and Shawn, but they didn't come back to it until 1994 at WrestleMania 10, which the WWE, they like to propaganda their own history, and book said that was the first ever ladder match of all time between Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon at WrestleMania 10, where we saw the bad guy victorious with both the Intercontinental titles on top of the ladder at the end. And, then we had the rematch at SummerSlam, and I'll tell you some stuff after that, but let Danny give you the stats.
All right, so I'll take it from the top. SummerSlam 1995 took place on August the 27th at the Civic Center in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So much like last week, our watch-along episode, this is again in Pennsylvania. 18,062 people were there in attendance, little lower. Speaking of lower, this is just an idea of how down the business was at this time. It did a 0.9 buy rate, which is basically means only 205,000 people bought this pay-per-view.
And for you younger fans, it was a different time in the business. Both WCW was a Southern wrestling company that was struggling, probably about to go under Turner. The WWF, this is post-steroids trial, post-Hulkamania, pre-Attitude Era. This is the new generation era. They're figuring things out. Hell, the main event for this show was King Mabel versus Diesel, which doesn't seem that appealing. To be honest with you, I don't think I've ever really watched this event fully more than maybe 2 or 3 times because it's not one of my favorite WrestleManias, but this is one of the highlights of it. My favorite SummerSlams. This match is one of the highlights of it for sure.
Absolutely.
And I know if those of you that followed me for a long time, I've told the story so many times that my first wrestling memory is seeing Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels in a ladder match. I can't tell you if it was this one or the one at WrestleMania 10, but and I'm sure I saw wrestling before that because my brother was a huge wrestling fan. And the reason I saw this is because my brother, being 10 years older than me, probably 16 or 15 years old, was watching wrestling in our playroom with all his friends and didn't want me in there. And I remember watching to the door.
Well, of course.
Razor Ramon and seeing Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels in the ladder matches, being like mesmerized by it and being like, oh my God, like I love this. Even though I'm pretty sure I probably saw wrestling before that. That was my first moment I remember with wrestling. The reason I remember that is I think I've told that story since I was in elementary school, high school. Like everyone's like, why do you love wrestling so much? What was the first thing you remember? I'm like, oh, ladder match, Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels. That's the first thing I remember.
Yeah.
So it's cool. So I can't tell you if it was this one or the WrestleMania one. I sometimes think it was the WrestleMania one, but it could have been this one. I was a kid. They did it twice. Danny, which one do you prefer, this or WrestleMania 10?
This one is my favorite one out of their 2 matches. The WrestleMania 10 one obviously will hold a special place in your heart because it was the quote unquote first one, right? I just feel like I liked the camaraderie, and I guess maybe they kind of worked out the kinks. Both baby faces, Razor's Razor's always been like red hot his entire stretch in WWF.
I think it's so crazy sometimes to think of it that he was literally just there from like 1992 to 96. Like it wasn't that long of a stretch, considering how long a lot of guys have been with the WWE today. If you take a look at guys like Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler and Cesaro, like guys have been there for like 8-9 years straight almost. Like
yeah.
92 to 96 and left such a big impact. I was a huge Razor fan, and I do think that factors in huge here that like WrestleMania 10, it was a heel and babyface, different dynamic. Shawn was a bad guy. Razor was a good guy. Where this time around, they're both kind of baby faces because this was kind of a replacement match.
Yeah. Yep. It was initially supposed to be Shawn Michaels versus Sid, and for unknown reasons, unless Bruce Pritchard has told us on his show,
softball.
Right? Maybe Sid had to go play softball. But the match was just completely scrapped. So throughout the match, they'll be showing Sid in the background because Sid gets the challenge for the Intercontinental title against the winner of this match. So whoever that is.
And a little flashback in 1995. The year kicked off. Diesel was a champion for the entire year, and Shawn Michaels and Diesel faced each other at WrestleMania. Michaels winning the Rumble, the whole Pamela Anderson angle. And he brought Sid in as his bodyguard during that feud with Kevin Nash, a.k.a. Diesel. Obviously, Diesel won at WrestleMania. Sid turned his back on Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels, from that point forward, kind of turned babyface. The fans started getting behind him. So going into this match, Shawn Michaels is the Intercontinental Champion. Razor Ramon is the opponent. And I think we should start the countdown.
We are. You guys better be ready. 1 hour, 54 minutes, 26 seconds.
Ready, set, 5, 4, 3,
2, 1, play.
Right here.
All right. Speaking of baby faces, there's Michael P.S. Hayes, also known as Handsome Doc Hendricks. Do.
I was like, we talked about this actually off the air, I think, actually, even before we did it the first time. But like, it's so silly as a kid. Like, I didn't realize that was the same Freebirds guy because they cut his hair and shaved his beard.
Yeah, they did so little to him.
I thought he was like a completely different guy.
I'll be honest, though, I had absolutely no idea who the Freebirds were in 1995.
Well, in 95 it didn't.
You know what I mean?
And like, obviously I watched this match afterwards a handful of times, and we'll talk about that because like, there's a lot about this that until I understood the business and kind of was in the know, like there's a lot of things that didn't stand out to me, like, you know, Shawn Michaels working with his friends, the Clique, all that type of stuff didn't stand out to me. But watching it and look at all the cool shirts in the crowd, the cool.
I love looking at all the old attire, looking at the hairstyles, the shirts that people used to wear.
A lot of kids in the crowd at this point. A lot of them, a little bit more of a mature crowd, not as crazy as the Attitude Era.
Right.
Of course, a couple of years later, would have signs and people trying to hop in front of the camera and stuff like that.
And this is my absolute favorite type of pyro. I love the.
I used to do the razor pose all the time, like shaking my fist and stretching my arms out, hitting my Power Rangers with some Razor's Edges and stuff. I used to make those spark entrants in a lot of video games back in the day as well.
Yes,
that and like the raining one from Randy Orton and Christian used for a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's that ring announcer? I have no idea.
That was that random. I don't even remember his name, but yeah, he was only there for a little while.
We got Silhouette Michaels here, a little throwback, kind of reminds me of Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody video. There's nothing about Shawn Michaels' entrance attires that's not badass. I swear to you, on my life, I would have rocked those out in public. I might even still do it today. So I was a low-key Shawn Michaels fan back in this day because, you know, I was the younger brother in the household and the youngest kid running around singing I'm a sexy boy and being flamboyant and stuff wasn't so popular back then. And I was high-key a Razor Ramon fan, always been. So I was a fan of both guys in this match, even at this point, and even watching it as a kid, watching it over again and stuff. How crazy is it, like, as a wrestling fan, like, it's so hard to see a ladder and not think of, like, having a ladder match or, like, trying to climb it for, like, a ladder match. I can tell you when I worked at Home Depot how many ladders I climbed and, like, pretended I was, like, going to grab a belt or something.
How many ladders have you done the stupid-ass slow climb to?
I've done it, man. I've done it. Dude, I've even jumped off ladders. Like, I'd be point blank, like we've had trampolines jumping off ladders, dropping elbows on each other and stuff. Like,
oh yeah, I've jumped off pretty much everything, but I blame Jeff Hardy for that.
I blame just wrestling generally. I blame Macho Man for the countless flying elbows I've dropped.
I did a
look at Shawn Michaels. Is like it was a hard. Like, how could you be a male fan of Shawn Michaels? Like it had to be difficult. I know society's changed today, but back then it had to be difficult.
I don't know. There was just so many men. I mean, I know he used to run out into the crowd and kiss chicks on the cheek, sometimes on the lips or whatever. But like, yeah, there's nothing about him that was not like, you sure you like chicks?
He was super athletic. He's a hell of a performer. That part never changed. They got the cool merch, man. Those Shawn Michaels shirts and stuff.
I love those Shawn Michaels all over shirts. Well, referee Jack Doan.
Yeah, I guess if you guys are ever looking for those shirts, if you ever watch these old school matches, if you ever like, man, I wish I could get that shirt, check out Wrestling for Sale. My boy Ted, man, he's always doing these pop-up shops at big wrestling events. He's always finding this old stuff. He's always, getting this old merch and selling it, man. He's finding it for people. He's taking that part of the struggle of looking for this merch. He finds it. He buys it. He does sell it for a little bit more expensive because he needs to make some money, man. He has to make a profit. It's like a job for him. It's like a second job for the guy. So if you think it's too expensive, it's just because, he's got to make his cut, man. He's taking that part out of going and finding it out of the process for you. And dude, like he always does all the hottest stuff, all this crazy Macho Man merch, all the cool Shawn Michaels stuff from back in the day. Wrestling for Sale on Instagram. He's the OG at doing this. Nobody does it better than him. I know there's other guys out there, but he'll like if you want something, man, he'll find it. Like trust me. Anytime someone comes on my page and like, man, I wish you get that shirt. I'm like, Wrestling for Sale has it. Trust me. Just keep watching.
And he won't completely destroy you on his price. It's reasonable. They're pricey, yeah, but they're reasonable.
And mostly like trying to find vintage merch like that's authentic, man. Dead stock, like real stuff, like not reprints or anything like that. Like this is the real deal, man. So if you want it, Wrestling for Sale on Instagram, man. Shout out to the boy. He's the man.
Damn right.
I'll have to see Doc Hendricks and Vince on commentary here.
It is. I think they did it. I think they commentated a handful of times. I think it was mainly on like Action Zone, their little show that they did on Sundays. You see the belt hanging there, which is an awkward position. And Shawn Michaels is telling them, bring that shit down.
Which is funny because I do recall something happened this match that happened at the end. So we did our research. We've done our research and we kind of already watched this match already before doing this. So we kind of can talk about it a bit more. And there's something that happened at the end that makes this seem so funny because he gets so pissed at the end.
But it makes sense as to why. You know what I mean? Like now in hindsight, it makes sense.
No, it does, but it's also funny because he complained about it at the beginning. It's almost like bad karma. Like, oh, then he got screwed at the end because you're a little whiny guy.
Yep. Exactly
Shawn Michaels' attitude, like this is the thing. Obviously, back then, didn't know any of the backstage politics. I'm watching as a kid. It was still real to me, damn it. Like I didn't know about Shawn Michaels' backstage attitude and temper tantrums. Didn't know these guys are homies. Didn't know about the clique. Just just a good old wrestling fan.
Yep.
Match kicking off. And unlike modern
fast-paced action here,
not going after a ladder right off the bat, super kick thrown, still feels special because it doesn't happen in every match.
No offense to other people that do it all the time, but it's kind of overused.
Yeah. Like when Johnny said back then, and that's with a lot of moves, man. It's crazy though. Back then, like if someone did a move, like you have to ask permission to use it because they didn't want everyone doing the same moves. Like that's like a lost art.
Yep, exactly.
Michael's throwing some fire punches. I love the old tunnel entrance and stuff like that, man. I love how simple all of this is.
I love that they both went for their finishers right off of the bat, and they both countered them, which is cool.
Showing that they know each other, they've wrestled in the past.
Yep.
They've feuded for a solid year. Like they're not unfamiliar with them. This is a second ladder match against each other. That was a cool story, man.
And it's a little bit different this time because obviously Shawn Michaels is a babyface, but the first time he was the heel because when Sid turned on him, he came back at King of the Ring, had that weird time run out match against Kama Mustafa, and he's been babyface ever since. Beat Jeff Jarrett at In Your House 2 in July for the Intercontinental Championship. Gets completely thrown over. Shawn Michaels was great at taking Irish whips into the corner turnbuckles. whether it was going over the ropes or doing that little flippy thing.
Finally going for the ladder, and look, they wrestled a bit before even thinking about going after the ladder, and nope, they didn't get
not yet.
Where nowadays we'd see the ladder involved in the match right off the bat. Now we're getting a little bit of a match, a little bit of wrestling first, and I think where that gets lost nowadays is most ladder matches involve multiple people. Where like I like, when was the last time we saw a one-on-one ladder match? Like, I don't remember. I almost feel like I might have been seeing Seth versus Dean or something, but like when it's a one-on-one ladder match, that's usually when you can do stuff like this rather than having like the Money in the Bank 7 people in a tag team ladder match.
That hurt.
Suplex to the outside of the leg, hit the guardrail. That's something I feel like the teal of the time, but you rarely ever see, and I actually forgot it happened in this match.
But what's nice about this also is, let's just say that they have, like, let's say they use 4 ladders throughout the match. It's only showcasing one.
Yeah, look at that guy in the tuxedo.
Man, he's got that mullet. He's all business from the front down.
Trying to get the pictures for his editorial, man. Is any of the other famous fans in the crowd? No, Vladimir.
I don't know. Was Vladimir always camera side? I know we see the guy
always,
that was.
He always tries to get on camera.
You see the guy with the sunglasses.
Yeah, the Mick Foley lookalike.
Yep.
Almost like the famous fans of today. Like the guy with the long hair and his grandma in the front row all the time. Green shirt, smiley face dude. Brock Lesnar guy, good guy, decent dude. Frank the Clown, decent dude. All good peeps. But regulars at the shows, man.
Yeah.
Double down, man. Double down. Double clothesline, both guys down. And still no ladder involved in the match yet.
No, we're
just working on ring psychology to tell a story here.
Yeah, we're what, about 5-6 minutes into the match, and that nobody's even touched the ladder.
Yeah, besides doing their entrances.
Right, yeah.
Shawn Michaels just selling, dude. Selling.
I used to love when he would get these kicks in the corner while he's on a turnbuckle like that.
Oh, fall away slam from the middle rope. It's gonna hurt.
And
that's something like,
look at his face.
That's something like, and that's like another one of those moves, a fall away slam. Like when you think about that, I think of Razor Ramon, I think of JBL. Like those are the only 2 guys I think of.
Yep, you know exactly. I mean? Exactly.
And that's why moves mattered. Like, because like those are the guys that do that move.
Yep.
Like one or two people, not like half the roster.
Yep. Now we're gonna get some ladder action, I'm assuming.
One thing I'll always appreciate about Shawn Michaels and guys from this era, and a lot of people do it today, like AJ Styles and Seth Rollins and stuff, was when they have unique gear. Like, I always love Shawn Michaels' trunks and all the different colors and the ways that he would come out and go above and beyond. Stuff that goes back to like the Macho Man was infamous for that, always making his gear stand out and standing out by, having special gear for special events and trying not to wear the same thing twice.
There he is, the master and the ruler of the world.
Oh, baseball slide. Ooh, punch spit out of his mouth. Right all over the guy's tuxedo. Poor guy.
All right. He just knocked some teeth out.
Razor's going for the ladder.
Ladder still hasn't actually been used yet.
Not yet. Not
like, you know what I mean? Like, it's incredible to me that you've gone this far into a ladder match and haven't used it yet. It just shows you that how good of ring chemistry they had and the story that they wanted to tell.
Push off the ladder. First person to start climbing was Razor. Yeah, man, these blue tights are sick. Sean used to have these white, red, and black tights he used to love.
I think my favorite ones were the ones that he wore at Survivor Series 96 against Sid.
Oh, yeah, those are too. And obviously the gold and white ones are like famous because of WrestleMania 12. But that's cool because it gives you like action figure, different action figures you can collect. What event they're from. Video games. Like there's a period, like I think with the Attitude Era, where the people didn't really change the tires that much. Austin was always in the black trunks, and everyone kind of wore the same thing all the time. But the early '90s and the '80s, man, and even nowadays, I love how everyone has special gear for WrestleMania and stuff. And Sean's pants falling down.
Doc Hendricks letting everybody know there's a full moon in Pittsburgh, and oof.
Look the way his leg got caught. So that's the second time we've seen Michael's leg get caught in a bad predicament. Like, and at this point, like, I don't know if it's meant to happen that way or if it was an accident. Like, first the guardrail and now into the ladder.
That just wrenched the knee, man.
And so the ladder really, besides it like falling, pushing each other off, and that happening, like the ladder really hasn't been used as like a weapon yet.
No, it hasn't.
Right now,
Yeah.
locked his leg in it.
Oh, until he starts stomping on it. And the thing that's
look at the crowd, they love it. The men love it. They're like, get this pretty boy. Ooh.
They're like, get this pretty boy. My wife loves him.
Dancing around here like words we can't say in 2019.
Right.
But I'm sure they were saying back then.
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely.
I don't know. I grew up in the era. Different world, man. Different world.
I don't think anybody meant it derogatory then, really, either.
No, it wasn't.
That was the best. That was the best part.
It wasn't like you wouldn't say to someone that was actually it. That's what it was.
Right.
You say to your friend, you say to your buddy to make him feel insecure.
Right. You know what I like about like these look like Razor's like beating the shit out of Shawn Michaels' knee on the ladder.
Just going at it, dude. And that's just an art of the past. And the guys do it today sometimes, but like I hate like Seth Rollins will sell his knee midway in the match, and they're like, "Oh, the story says his knees hurt." And next thing you know, he's doing like the Falcon Arrow little slam thingy and jumping around. Like, dude, what happened to your knee? Like,
exactly.
Match, you'll see Shawn Michaels till this match ends selling that knee. Yep. And he's going to work on it like he's breaking it down. He's not. Shawn Michaels not going to be doing any flying elbows or anything now, throwing super kicks with that leg because he can't.
Yep. I mean, he's been selling it walking up. Like it's
you know what I mean. Like it's different psychology.
Yeah, it's exactly. Stone Cold says it pretty much every single time he talks about wrestling nowadays. Pick a body part and work it.
Like when Stone Cold was mechanic. When I was a mechanic, WCW. But I was thinking Stone Cold's a mechanic. But like we talked about it the first time we watched this that like you said, they don't really do the double down no more. Very rare that you see the double clothesline and both guys go down. And I'm like, well, nowadays what I feel like we get a lot of is like, oh, someone hits him with a big boot, and then like AJ follows the Pele kick, and then they both go down. So someone's not selling one of the moves, but then they sell both of them at the same time. Happens in New Japan all the time. Like both guys hit the finisher. Like Rainmaker, it's not done. That's a double down. That's how they do the double downs. Rather than both guys just hitting each other going down, it's like one of the guys is going to try to half no sell something, then the other guy's going to hit him, and then they're going to have the double down. Which is it's a different style, but it still happens.
And for me, like when I'm actually physically comparing the two, because we're seeing it now. I don't like the no selling double downs.
Yeah,
because that like, and I feel like we get way too many false finishes in matches now too.
Yeah, which
like these are called finishing moves. Yeah, right.
Like we haven't seen any of these guys hit their finishing moves once here to really end the match, and then it's a ladder match. Obviously, it's not going to end with a finishing move, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, they both went for it twice each.
A unique first time we've ever seen the ladder used in that way, knee first. So then, as you can tell, like it's more Razor beating on the knee than the ladder. The ladder's like it's a wrestling match happening with ladders rather than a ladder match happening with wrestlers. Like the ladder's still not the center of the match. Like, this is still him trying to work the knee himself.
Exactly.
The early days of the ladder match, they didn't think of the ladder too much as a weapon, but more as a prop they could use, but they're going to wear down their opponent.
Yep,
the old school style. Oh, and out goes Razor. Big bump.
Foot right up the ass.
The one thing I also want to point out is like I think sometimes we forget. Like, because we see Razor in this match here against Shawn Michaels, and television doesn't do him justice. And I think a lot of people remember Scott Hall more in WCW always being next to Hogan and Nash, other big guys like that, and the Giant. But like I've met Scott Hall in real life. I've seen the guy multiple times. Like he's a big dude, man. He's over 6 foot. Like I think people don't credit him as much as a big guy because he's always on bigger guys. But like he's a big dude, man, and he moves well for a big dude.
Yeah, he absolutely is. He's 6'7".
He bumps over the top rope and stuff like that. Like that's for like I think sometimes people just credit how big he is because it's always the big man with the little man when it was him and Nash.
The big man.
But the outsiders are with each other. But now if you see them separately, like now kind of
Yeah.
I don't think people credit how big Hall was. Like Shawn Michaels is pretty much jumping to punch him in the face.
Yep, and he's
Irish rip.
Right into a drop toe hold, right down on the knee.
This move,
no way, no way.
bringing the pain, man, twisting it, and you believe it.
Pulling, oh man, that quad's on fire. I know he's working the knee, but that quad's on fire right now.
The fans are eating this up. It's classic wrestling. Would this fly today? People would be angry that they weren't using the ladder more. I feel like if this is modern day wrestling.
Probably. I guess maybe it depends on who's in the ring.
It's true.
But like, I feel like Seth and Dean could have had a match like this.
But I feel like at the end, people will be like, "Oh, they didn't use the ladder." But then just drops the ladder on him.
Classic Razor shrug off.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
He's the bad guy, so you gotta make it on the streets, man.
That's right.
If it's there, might as well use it.
Man. Face stomp. Shawn Michaels I liked Shawn Michaels' face stomp too. I thought he gave a good face stomp before. He would always hit the elbow off the top rope.
One of the things I hate about ladder matches is a slow climb. But like in this match, it makes sense because there's two of them. You can see that Razor's a big guy. He's probably exhausted. You know, Shawn has an injured leg. And
Shawn's got a bad wheel.
But you see how, Shawn did that. He did that double axe handle to get him off the ladder. But he goes right back to selling the knee. Like he did that, but it hurt himself.
And he put no weight on his leg that entire time he was going up there.
Yeah, but when he hit the ground, he hit it and he sold it. Like, okay,
exactly.
Like, just keep the leg injury going. But like, I don't mind the slow climb in like singles ladder matches. I think it's that we see it too much now, like Money in the Banks or like tag team ladder matches where guys be laying outside the ring for like 8 minutes. And they pop back in the slow climb. Like, dude, you were literally laying on the ground for like 10 minutes. Like, you would have gained some energy.
You know what I loved about that bump right there is Razor's a big dude, slams into the ladder, and it doesn't move and it doesn't drop. It gives you that ultimate illusion like this ladder's heavy as shit, and he's been beating Shawn Michaels' leg with it. Whether it was intentional or not, like you go. Wow.
I do feel like the ladders must have been less gimmicked back then than they are now.
Well, yeah, they definitely weren't cut in half for that cliche spot we get every year, which is always cool. Don't get me wrong, but you know.
Oh, I love the current stuff, but it was just different back then. Back body drop offs the ladder. That's fresh. Never seen that before.
Nope. There's a lot of firsts.
Razor's a big guy, man. Shawn just selling the pain he's in. Struggling, dude.
Shawn was such a good seller.
Which could be a detriment sometimes, you know. We got guys like Dolph Ziggler. Great sellers, and they just become great hands. But Shawn was right time, right place.
Right stroke, apparently, too.
Dolph Ziggler reminds me of this era, Shawn, you know?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, that's a very fair assessment. I think Dolph Ziggler, if he went back and was able to go back in time, I think he'd fit very, very well.
What a bump by the bad guy. Big guy over the top, hit the ladder. And it makes it seem like that would have hurt him more.
Yeah.
But he's the big guy. He's back up, man. Hey, yo. Oh, again, back first. And honestly, back then, like, that's like, whoa. Now that happens, it's like, okay, that's just the first ladder bump.
Right.
And I think that's what it is. You have to watch us realizing that this is 1995. If you're a younger fan watching along with us, say, like, it might be like, well, this isn't like, oh, I've seen people go through ladders. I've seen, you know, it's different time, man. Like this was, once again,
storytelling wrestling.
WWE history, the second ladder match ever, and realistic third one. But like, a lot of this is still new, man. This is still like innovative at this point.
Exactly.
That this was like, yeah, this is an innovative match in 19.
Like what we're about to see right here. That's pre-Hardy Boys moonsault off the ladder.
Oh, and he's hyped. He's feeling it. He's going to climb. Still checked on that knee. He's going to take the risk. Sometimes you have to think about the logic behind this. Why are you doing this? But at the same time, it's like, I'm happy you are.
Right.
Like when Jeff Hardy does move, sometimes it's like, that's a big point there. Look at the crowd. Get them invested in it. Standing on the top. This is risky.
Look how wobbly. Damn.
He misses it. Trying to recreate the magic from WrestleMania 10 where he hit it, but this time he misses it. Things aren't going the Heartbreak Kid's way. Well, he retain the Intercontinental Championship, or will the bad guy find the power to get up and take this advantage and climb the ladder and grab the Intercontinental Championship to once again become the Intercontinental Champion? We'll find out as soon as we get back from this break.
On the next episode of
Both
Speaking of which, if you're
selling that they're in pain. One of the crazy bumps that I've ever seen that was like a missed bump was like, see the moonsault, like you don't know where you're gonna land on a moonsault.
right,
Doing that front splash. And I don't know if you remember Kurt Angle jumping off the cage on Chris Benoit.
oh jeez,
yeah. I always think about that, I'm like, dude, that's nuts. You don't know how you're gonna land.
And he's done that more than one time. Like, dude, stop. You're crazy.
His neck multiple times. Like, we appreciate you, Kurt Angle. We appreciate you.
Even slow motion, that ladder's wobbly.
And that did not look. There was like 5 times this match where if I was Shawn Michaels, I would have broken my wrist. And there's more to come. Trust me. Broke my wrist, my arm like a bunch of times when I was a kid. First double climb of the match. Both guys climbing at the same time. Both exhausted. They sold that by laying down there for a bit.
And the slow climb here is not bad. Like in hindsight, when you think about it, because you not only were they beating each other up, but it was new.
Yeah, one-on-one match. You know Shawn's knees hurt. You know Razor's a big guy, probably gets exhausted faster. You know, has less stamina than the small dude. They're bringing the fight to each other, and it's a single match, and it's happening. It's not like they were like one of these guys were laying outside the ring for 8 minutes, and then and they both tumble off the ladder.
Oof. The way that Razor landed, that's the way you tear a friggin' hamstring, man.
Shawn falling down, so that's kind of funny. It was almost like the Ric Flair flop.
Right.
When I was a kid and we used to play wrestling and stuff, I'd always sell like that, like Shawn. Face first down like I was dead. Let him just think I'm dead for a little bit, and then I'll get back up.
That's right.
Let him think I'm not going to. Is he going to get up? He looks like he's not going to get up. Razor looks like he's going to get up. Shawn looks like he's not going to get up. Oh, he's breathing. He's huffing and puffing, dude. Oh man, I'm invested.
Another thing that I really enjoyed about this era is the camera work.
Yeah,
I feel like now they try to get too creative with the cameras.
You know what I'll say about 94, 95, 96, which were kind of like not the most popular years in professional wrestling. Like 96, I'll still say was one of the highlight years, but 97 was the best. But like 94, 95, if you go back and you watch a lot of those Raws and stuff, a lot of people don't enjoy them that much. But like so many like just solid, good working matches. Which is a lot of good wrestling.
Right. Razor is looking for Hornswoggle or something under the ring right now.
Did Shawn dive to the rope with the ladder, or did he baseball slide out?
He went to hit Razor, and Razor moved out of the way, and then he like baseball slid his face into the ladder.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
And then for some reason, Razor's like, well, left that ladder. Had some bad luck with it.
And he's not just going to go get any ladder. He's going to get, as Vince would repeatedly tell us, that standby ladder.
Which I think makes sense because Vince is trying to tell the story, and this is only the second ever ladder match, and this is the first time we're seeing a second ladder introduced. And it's trying to say that ladder was only under the ring because if the first ladder broke, they needed a standby ladder. I think it's
just the way that Vince explains things, though.
I know, but I mean, like, it's not like, now the other ladders they set around the ring, so there's multiple ladders you can use. It's like, oh, there was only one ladder, but we did have this one under there because just in case.
Oh, that's what he just Ric Flair chopped his back. That shit stings.
Oh, one of my favorite moves, the Razor's Edge. Will he hit it? Will he hit on the ladder? No, not on the ladder. Because if this was 2018, that definitely would be on the ladder.
Oh yeah.
The amount of power bombs and moves that we've seen Kevin Owens take on ladders.
Oh my god, ridiculous! I love the Razor's Edge. I think that move looks like it legitimately will hurt you, landing on the top of your shoulders and the back of your head like that.
I never got used to the term outsider's edge, though. It was always the Razor's Edge.
Yeah, obviously I understand why, but yeah, definitely.
Getting a wide shot here. Packed house, the hanging from the rafters.
Both men down again.
Sean always looking dead.
He was. That's usually how I laid when I was a wrestler.
When I was a wrestler, my backyard league.
That's right.
Raises all alone. He's got his second ladder. He didn't like the first one.
That standby ladder's got those odd wings.
This one looks
on
more
it.
dirty and rugged, like it's been used.
Right.
Real construction work. Probably used it to put the ring together.
Right. They got it from.
Dude, man, when I used to work at Home Depot, man. Anytime I walk by the ladders, I'm like, gotta have a ladder match here, bud. I always think
that ladder looks more sturdy.
Hardcore match in Home Depot is like the best place to have a hardcore match.
Oh, that would be phenomenal.
I can't, like, when I was a kid, man, I was like, only you have to be a wrestling fan, dude. I couldn't walk through places like Home Depot or IKEA and be like, you could have a hardcore match here. Because I grew up in that 24/7 Crash Holly hardcore area.
I used to walk through Home Depot and just walk through like the kitchen cabinet section and just smash each other's face with the cabinet doors as you're opening them, like they would do in the hardcore matches.
Yeah, man. Even just some brawls, man. They should do that stuff. Give us something different.
Double climb on 2 ladders. We've never seen it.
Super kick off the ladder. I don't know if he got all of it, but he's going. He's going. He's trying to reach for it.
Oh,
and he doesn't. He hits his wrist.
He landed on the. Oh no! He landed on the ladder.
He hits his wrist hard, dude. Like I'm telling you, my wrist would be broken.
I feel like your bones are like Samuel L. Jackson and Mr. Glass.
Don't even know what that means. Mr. Glass. That's a movie that they promoted 90 times yesterday.
Yeah, that's like I think that's the third one in their trilogy. Oh, Razor going for the Razors. Is he going for? Oh, God! Another over the top bump.
He'll go Sean for the win, and Razor taking a big bump there.
Razor's out.
Still getting over this cold here.
I mean, Sean's got it, right?
It's over.
Foregone conclusion.
Trying to set the ladder up. He's trying to grab it. It's too far out there.
And
slipped right off. And that's the moment I was talking about. Look at that shocked face.
that guy's face right there.
Yes.
Classic Sean temper tantrum.
So mad that his knee's totally fine now, bud. He's still gonna sell that knee. Razor being smart, looking like he's climbing, adding a little bit more suspense.
Right.
Loki Razor's like, well, this guy still hasn't got it. The rest are like, he didn't get it yet.
Right.
There you go.
He's probably laying out there. And
he's like swearing in his head right now, Shawn Michaels the best. And not knowing the business like I do then when I originally watched this match, like I would never picked up on that, like Shawn Michaels' bad attitude.
Right, exactly.
Razor
that's exactly how I envision Shawn Michaels backstage now.
Yeah. Well, back then I was like, oh man, he's probably just, I'd be mad too, man.
I've always thought that these were, I guess they don't happen a lot, but I always thought that these were just always kind of cheesy when there's 2 good guys and one rips the title out of the hand and hands it to him.
That's the only reason why I think it works. Those 2 good guys.
I mean, it's cool because I love both of these guys, but I mean, I guess if it was something that was overdone, then I wouldn't be okay with it. But
yeah, it's kind of like they did it again. This is the second time they're having the ladder match against some Pyro. Technically tried to steal the show. They put on a good match. The better man won. They're both good guys. Giving Sean the break. Because if he didn't, then it'd be like, is Razor a bad guy?
Right.
Is he mad,
I mean, he is the bad guy, but he's not a bad guy.
Ladder match of the century. Ladder rematch of the century, I think it's that. That guy in the pink shirt, so excited for him. Look at these guys. Yay, Sean.
Look at that lady in the Razor Ramon shirt dancing, not knowing what's going on, that her man just lost.
Oh my God. She's low-key a Sean fan too. High-key Razor. Same boat. And Michaels must pose.
That's right.
Because he is being groomed to be the next big. Is that a Thriller jacket?
That looks like it. It definitely looks like a Thriller jacket. But, man, I'll tell you, yeah. Serena Williams hair. Those glasses, man.
Wrestling for sale. He can get them for you.
Ted's got them. They're on his website.
Anything you see in the crowd, you're like, damn, I wish I had that. Wrestling for sale. I don't know, man. I think that was good, man. I enjoyed that. That was a good match.
And one of my favorite matches is obviously Shawn Michaels is my favorite of all time.
Do you think it still stands the test of time with all the ladder matches we've seen today?
Depends on what you're looking for out of wrestling, because I know a lot of non-wrestling fans are looking for a crash. They're looking for crash and burn.
I don't know if I would show this match to someone that never watched wrestling before and want to see a ladder match. I think I'd probably lean more towards a WrestleMania X7 triple threat TLC match, or maybe one of the Money in the Banks or something, because it is more crash course and bang, bang, bang. But I think someone that has an appreciation for wrestling, kind of a student of a game, like you would really appreciate the match and the psychology behind it.
You know what match they would appreciate is the match we're going to talk about and watch along with next week, which is Undertaker versus Mankind, King of the Ring, 1998.
And boy, is that one of the most infamous matches of all time. I think it's one of those matches that, you know, it transcends professional wrestling. Like it hit pop culture. It's one of those matches every year around that time, June of every year, you see Complex and, World Star and all these people post about it too, because it's one of those moments that even casual wrestling fans remember. That time that Mick Foley lost his mind.
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately,
his career.
The moment that a lot of people that are casual wrestling, because obviously as hardcore wrestling fans, we can remember countless of Mick Foley moments and other matches and things that he's done that was super amazing and memorable. But for a lot of people, like, that's what they remember Mick Foley for.
Yep.
And that's what they remember those calls from JR going, by God, he's broken in half. That's what they remember the Undertaker for, standing on top of the cell, looking down at Mick Foley's carcass in the ring.
You know what?
Classic images. It's all next week, man. Probably one of the most famous, globally known matches of all time.
At the very least, the spots. You know, that's got to be at the very least those spots of throwing off the cell and everything. I can't wait for next week.
I'm like, I remember the time that guy got thrown off the cell by the Undertaker, or he went on thumbtacks. Like, that guy was crazy. Like, that's unfortunately, like, in a lot of senses, Mick Foley's legacy. But we've talked about a lot of worse things that Mick Foley's been through, headshots and everything at Royal Rumble, and going through fire tables and Cactus Jack bumps and all these other things. But that match is next week. That's a match that everyone talks about. And
can't wait.
On my page. That's all next week, man. Undertaker, Mankind, King of the Ring, 1998. History. It's a big one. But anyways, guys, we appreciate you guys listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this watch along. If you're still watching SummerSlam, you'll see Diesel versus King Mabel, and you might have just saw Dean Douglas. But yeah, man, next week, King of the Ring. If you're listening to this on an Apple streaming service or on iTunes, or the podcast service on your phone, some people don't. They think iTunes and that are separate. Just give us a rating, give us a star rating, give us a review, help us out, do the thing. And man, I hope you guys all enjoy your Friday night.
And have a nice day.
Ooh, yeah, dig it.